Hey guys, how you doing? Gavin Thames here with REI Network. Welcome back for another podcast. I'm going to be talking about on this episode about building a solid foundation, okay, using the basic skills in real estate to do that. This is really, really important. I had a coaching call today. That's what inspired me to do this. And sometimes we have to strip everything back. Okay, we make it far too complicated, this business. Okay, there's too many tools, there's too many systems, there's too much automation, there's too many of all these things that is going to get us in a mess and stop us taking massive action. Okay, and you'll see time and time again, people in this business, they have to revert back, okay, to them basics. And it's hard. It's hard because you don't want to do that, right? Because you feel like you're taking 10 steps back. But sometimes you have to do that, rebuild, okay, regather yourself, whatever it may be, but you can always rely on the basic things because that is what's going to pull you through. That's what's going to make you money. That's what's going to get you through whatever it is that's happening in your business. Okay, and it happens to us all. If it hasn't and you're watching this, it will. Okay, whether it's the interest rates changing and you've got too many rentals that are up for renewal and the interest rate's gone up and now you've been cash flowing 350 a month and now it's going to be $50 a month if that goes up. Whatever it may be, we have tons of examples that are out of our control. So you can only focus on what you can control, okay? And going back to that basic skills is what's going to pull you through, okay, in my opinion. So let's talk about that. I'm going to build it down from literally, picking a market if you're brand new. You're going to be able to take things away even if you're a seasoned investor, because I'm sure somebody, if I can help one person on this episode, then I've done my job. Okay, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing content. I want to be doing more of it. I'm actually traveling right now, but I should be back home base in Savannah here in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to be churning out a lot more content. And again, I'm not going to, speak to everyone every single time, but as long as I can help one person, okay, then it is worthwhile. That's the way that I see it. So let's talk about, even from picking a market. And even before that, about actually talking about a vision. I've talked about this on episodes before, but it's really important that you actually come into this business or analyze your business and say, are you where you want to be? Are you heading in the right direction? Do you see the exit of how you want it to look? And are you on your way to making that a success? So what I mean by that is that when we talk about a vision, for me, I was very big on creating a vision and then building the business, creating a vision, having a good lifestyle, creating the business around that. And that's kind of what I did. Now, I want you to take it one step further because there's a couple of things that I did get wrong, okay? And I'm going to be talking, more about this in future episodes. But the first thing is that you need to make sure that whoever's involved is also on the same page, right? Because sometimes you think that you're doing the right things, okay, because it makes sense to you. But if you check with everybody, maybe in the family or business partners or whatever that may be, so make sure everyone has the same goal, everyone has the same vision. And if you don't, get that out the way up front. So if you're a husband and wife, and let's say the husband is getting into this business, and you're like, oh, we want these things, but have you actually had that we discussion? Or is it just what you think they want, right? And there's a big difference on that. Again, so make sure that you're all on the same page. Like, actually, husband or wife, like, what do you want? Like, what's your goal in this? And make sure that they are aligned and discuss that before you go in. Because I'm telling you, if everyone is working to achieve the same thing, that's when you're going to achieve greatness. And if not, then you're going to get a lot of friction on the way, a lot of negativity on the way, and it's going to be a much, much harder process. So once you've done that, then you can look at, okay, how you want this business set up. That's part of that vision that you're going to be pulling out. You're going to be entering then a market, whether it's your local market or a virtual market, depending on what exit strategies that you're trying to do. Obviously, if you're a seasoned investor, you should have more tools than just one. But if you're starting off, you want to start with one thing, okay? Be good and great at one thing. Don't try and do 10 strategies if you've never done a deal, because it's going to be a train wreck, too many moving parts, too much going on, and you're not going to get anywhere. So dominate one. Even though it might feel like you're missing opportunity, you're really not. Okay, you're really not missing opportunity because you're building something great that you can then bolt onto, right? Which is really, really, really important. So then there's going to be a few things in this that is going to be kind of the basics, all right, that we need to be good at. So I'm going to bring it from in a reverse order. So we're here to make money. okay, and serve people, right, and solve problems. But you're here to make money. How are you going to make money? You're going to have to do deals. To do deals, you're going to have to make offers. To make offers, you've got to have conversations with people. Okay, to have conversation with people, you need leads. Okay, so you need to be doing marketing to create leads that you're going to be able to have conversations with. You're going to be able to make offers. You're going to then be able to keep following up until the deal closes and you get paid. You solve the problem of the seller, whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, and they're the things that will never go away in this business. Now we have all these tools around us, CRMs, okay, data points, VAs, all of these things that come into play, automation, delegation, okay, and that's all good, but you have to, again, build that foundation before you automate. You cannot automate something that doesn't work. And I see it time and time again. If the system doesn't work and then you're putting automation in it, it could be hiring a VA to do it, but you haven't got it working, it isn't going to work. Okay, so you're putting your effort into an automation that will not work and get you results. It makes no sense. It just gets messier, it gets more expensive, and then it's harder, and then you just start blaming everybody else. But potentially you that didn't get it right out the gate. So we need to make sure that we're testing these things, we get them working, and then you start actually outsourcing. Okay, so that's what I want you to be thinking about, is them four things: marketing to generate leads. Okay, we've got to be good at that. Okay, we're going to be having quality conversations. You're going to be going after the 4 pillars when you're on these calls. Now, if you're new, okay, you don't need to close on the first phone call. Gone are the days where you close on the first phone call, especially if it's a cold call. Okay, it's not going to happen. So you're there to gather information. Now you want to work through the 4 pillars. Pillar number 1, okay, is their situation motivation, kind of what is going on, why they're interested in selling, is the house vacant, just what is their situation, right? This is where you're going to get the pain points. This is where you're going to find out how you can help them. So make sure you're really listening, taking good notes in this section, okay? Number 2 is timeline. How quickly do they want to do something? Was it yesterday they need to sell? They want to sell ASAP. They're not in a rush. Okay, they have time. All of these things that you need to find out, because that's going to help you to be able to provide that offer to make sure you're bringing a solution to the table. Number 3 is the condition of the property. Okay, what repairs does it need? How old is the roof, the AC? How old's the kitchen? When was the bathrooms last updated? Okay, the big items that are going to cost the most money is going to give you a rough estimate. If this was a rental, nothing's been done for the last 15 years, you know it's going to be outdated. It could be in good condition, but it's definitely going to be outdated if it's 15 years old. So you need to be making sure that you're allocating, for that in the repairs process. Now, obviously, if you're a wholesaler, you don't need to know all the repairs. It has to be a little bit of a guesstimate, all right? And prices are going up. If it's a full gut rehab, you might be doing $40, $45 a square foot, depending on where you're located. Okay, if it's like just some cosmetic, maybe a kitchen, you might be at $25 a square foot, and you can kind of build it from there. Maybe $10 if it just needs a carpet and paint, all right, with just some rough guidelines that you guys can use. But the condition, you want to be asking questions about that, and we just talked about. And then number 4 is going to be the price. How much do they want? Are they fixed on that price? Would they take anything less? What would the least amount they would take? All of these questions that you can ask to get the price. Now, once you've done that and you've gathered this information, that's where you're going to say, hey, Mr. Seller, appreciate it. I've got everything I need. Let me go and look at, run some numbers, and I'll get back with you. Okay. And then you're going to be able to come back and then make the offer. All right. So you can do that in step 2 on a second call, where you actually come back and make the offer. Now, the offer is probably not going to get accepted most of the time, right? And that's where you then put them on a follow-up, all right? And you keep following up until they say yes. It doesn't matter, guys. This is really important when you're building a solid foundation in the business. No one cares what they say today. What we care about is anything change the next time we talk to them. So if I talk to you today and you're like, no, I don't care. I want this price. I don't care if it sits there for 3 years. This is my price, not motivated. Okay, or whatever it is that they say, and then I call 30 days later and I don't get that same attitude, that same clear direction, but I get a couple of like, well, I thought it had moved by now. I know I said I had ages, but I was pretty confident that it's not moved. Now what's happening is you're having a shift in that motivation. Okay, so this is now the one that you need to keep massaging, staying on top of, staying on that follow-up until we get that contract signed, and then going into closing. Okay, so make sure that you do that, and that's where a CRM could come in, right? But keep it basic. If you're not tech savvy, you don't need everything going on. You need three things that we've talked about before. You're going to change the status of that lead, right? What is the next thing that you're going to do? The status. Is it a new lead? Is it a follow-up? Is it cold follow-up? Do you have to make an offer? Does it need further research? Whatever it may be, okay? Make sure you change that status. You're going to then create a task. The task is the next thing that you do. So if you need to make a follow-up tomorrow at 12 o'clock, you're going to put that on. If you follow them in 7 days, or you've made the offer, call tomorrow to make sure they've received it. Always have a task. If you don't set tasks, it will fall through the cracks and you will not be able to get it back, because if you have hundreds or thousands of leads, you're not going to be able to remember it, and it's going to get lost and buried real quick. And then number three is taking good notes. The notes is absolutely critical, okay, which is a big foundation of a basic thing in this business, is taking good notes. Because when we follow up in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 2 years, we have a log of notes where the conversation is hopefully moving forward. You can see where the seller's at. You can see what's been offered. You can move along with them, obviously trying to get that closed. So they are the three things: change the status, create a task, okay, and update the notes. They are the things that you need to do as the basic things. Everything else with the automation, okay, the delegation, bringing in VAs, that's all great, but make sure you get that foundation working, and then you'll be able to build on that. All right. Another thing I just want to say here real quick as well is that you got three choices in this business. Okay, three. That's it. Three choices. This business is either done by you, okay, and every hat in that business is done by you. It's done by somebody else, or it doesn't get done at all. And you need to decide right now what that is. Are you doing everything and you're doing a good job, and now you need to start outsourcing? Have you already got someone else doing it for you? You've hired a VA. You've got someone cold calling. You've got leads coming in while you're working, okay, which is great, and hopefully you have, okay? Or are you not doing it at all? Because guess what? Not doing it all is not an option if you want to be successful in this business and actually get results. It isn't an option, but a lot of people pick it, okay? And you can't miss the four things we talked about. You can't miss marketing because you've got no one to talk to. If you're talking to people and you never make an offer, you're never going to do a deal, okay? And if you make an offer and it doesn't get accepted and you don't follow up, you're never going to do a deal. So you've got to make sure that them four things, there is no jumping over, going around corners, fast tracking that. They're the things that need to be done. You need to put them core people around to make sure it gets done, and you are brilliant at them four things. If you're brilliant at them for four things, you will have a successful business, regardless if it's wholesaling, lease options, creative finance, sub two, okay, whatever it is, Airbnbs, it doesn't matter. Then four things will come into play, okay, regardless of what you're doing, to be successful. So you need to make sure that you're doing that. All right. So hopefully this helped. I'm going to keep it short and sweet, to the point, so you've got some action items that you can actually, act on. And don't be worried if you need to revert back. Come back to basics. Everything gets a little overwhelming sometimes. Sometimes we get ahead of ourselves. Sometimes we grow too quick. Sometimes we get some success and we go all in, and all in's great. But if it's not going to plan, step back. Okay, time to kind of take a bird's eye view, looking on the business, taking an out of body experience and looking, and so you can have a clear head on what's going on, and then you can start making decisions and tweaking things to get results. Okay. So guys, I appreciate you. If you've liked this video, make sure you give me a like, subscribe to the channel, go to search my name, Gavin Timms, in YouTube, okay? Or if you're listening on the podcast, make sure REI Network with Gavin Timms, make sure you like and subscribe there as well. I appreciate you all. Like I said, drop a comment if you have any questions on this. I'm happy to answer anything I can. And let's get back down to building a solid business from the get-go, or let's get back down to basics if we need to, okay? And don't be worried about it. It's going to happen at some time. So get back to the basics, rebuild better than ever. You've learned, you know more now, okay? And it's just part of growing. So don't worry about it. Keep investing, guys, and I will see you on the next one.